Tell us why you originally applied to be a part of Survivor Bloomsburg Season 3 this year.
$1,000, definitely that. It looked fun. I've seen a couple episodes, but mainly at the $1,000.
In episode 1, the first activity was the island hopping, where you had 30 seconds to get trios standing into various hula hoops. How did you feel about your original trio that you formed with Scott and Dylan? Did you three form any alliance at that point?
Yeah, we did. We ended up being on Bonobo together, so we had a good bond there. Dylan was cool. Sucked that he got ousted early because of that national card.
In episode 1, your trio got selected to join the original Bonobo team. How did you feel about the group and Bonobo's ability to avoid all tribal councils that very first night?
I felt really good about original Bonobo. We came up short a couple times, but it was mainly just communication issues. I think we had a really strong team to start off. I really liked that team.
In episode 2 on the quad, unfortunately, Bonobo took a hard turn for the worse and went to tribal council 3 times that night. What do you think happened with the team?
We could not figure out that rope challenge for the life of us. And especially the ping pong challenge too. That was rough. We had black paddles and black balls, but we couldn't figure it out. The lights, it's obviously really dark. We couldn't figure that out. So that went terrible. And then we also had the drama too. So I guess that made voting easier, but still, it was a rough night for Bonobo.
In episode 3 at the rec center, tell us which challenges you enjoyed the most and why.
The bass kickball, that was really fun. I like that one. I'd say the best one though, I forget what it's called, but you just got to huck yoga balls. That was my favorite. I got a good clip out of that one. Sorry, Lily.
By the time you got to episode 4 back in the ballroom, did you have any alliances that you had created since episode 1 had filmed? And if so, with who?
Is that the new Bonobo? That was the strongest team that Survivor had seen. Bonobo, we didn't come second place once. That team was amazing. I wish we had that for longer. But I got switched after the next episode. Yeah, that was an awesome team. That was me, Evan, Joe, Mike, Blaine. That was an amazing team.
In episode 4, the first thing the castaways encountered was the first team swap of the season. You stayed on Bonobo and it became an all-guys team, included Kelvin, Joe, Logan, Blaine, Michael, and Evan. How did you feel about this brand new team, and how did the new Bonobo perform so well at the challenges that night?
As long as I was in that team, we didn't even come second place. So I felt really great about that team. I feel like they had to nerf us. I feel like they had that other team swap just because of us. But
in episode 4, during the Donkey Kong relay, you did the Velcro ping pong balance, wearing the Mario Brothers hat, and ended up with 2 penalties for dropping balls. Tell us about that challenge for you.
The challenge went well. I didn't drop any until after my challenge, until the very last challenge, where I was just standing there shaking, my forearms burning, and then I was watching the challenge. I kicked it a couple times.
In episode 5 at the pool, your Bonobo team had to go directly to tribal council because one of its members didn't turn the reflection videos in by the deadline from that prior week. How did you feel about getting voted out right away and not being able to participate in any of the pool challenges that episode?
They looked really hard, honestly, the challenges, so I'm kind of glad I didn't get to do them. I would have been tired, but yeah, I kind of just went home.
In episode 5, you came back from Husky Island to compete against Taylor, Jay, and Chase at Nelson Fieldhouse. After Jay used their Husky Island Fast Pass and you saw it was darts type challenge, what did you initially think about your chances of beating out Taylor and Chase?
I thought I had really good chances. I'm pretty good at darts and cornhole combinations, so.
What do you think when a 5th team, the Orange Orangutans, were formed to include you, Jay, Cora, and Elise?
I thought we had a disadvantage. We only had 4 people, and the challenges were actually pretty tough physically, and yeah, it just didn't work out too well, and we did not have great chemistry. It made voting rough.
In episode 6, you chose to run the first leg of the race for your team. Rather than move the large tire, which caused your team to take a 5-minute penalty, why didn't you choose the tire option instead?
I didn't know it posed such a great threat, honestly. I thought it would have been way easier than it was. So I wish I chose the tire because the running was pretty self-explanatory, but the tire was really heavy. So yeah, sorry, Jay.
After Orange lost that immunity challenge, you all went to tribal council, and in a blind slide, you all voted for Jay to leave. However, they played an immunity idol and was able to cast the solo eviction vote. What did you think about them voting you out?
That was terrible. I don't know why I was chosen to get voted out for that. I feel like I was our strongest physical aspect of that team. So the rest of the night they didn't do too well. I feel like that was a misstep.
In the final Husky Island of the season, you stayed around again and competed in the Wicked Woods Challenge against Michael, Cora, Olivia, and Haley. How come you teamed up with Michael to do it versus any of the girls?
Me and Mike were already great friends. just during Survivor, we became good friends. We were hanging out outside. But our strategy was just kind of like run and constantly say each card that we picked up. So it was constantly in our mind. So we had like 1 through 12 pretty easy.
In episode 7 at Redmond Stadium, tell us about your experience during the field goal kicking, javelin tossing, and kendama ball race.
I didn't do too well at any of those given ones. I had a really good javelin throw, but I stepped over the line and I got disqualified. I was butthurt about that. But other than that, yeah, I didn't get any immunity, but I wasn't on the chopping block, so I wasn't.
In episode 7, how did you approach the voting process with all 19 players attending tribal council together for the first time? Were you surprised that it was Michael voted out again?
I wasn't too surprised, but I was heartbroken to say the least. Yeah, I guess I was kind of surprised. I thought Brandon was going to get voted out. Jay was on the block too, so I thought they were like, I guess easier to vote out, but I guess Mike was more of a threat, so.
In episode 7, you were on the losing white team for the turf bucketball derby by only 2 points, 268 to 266. What were the team strategies going into that challenge?
We were really just trying to guard really our 8s and 9s. Same as the other team, but all we did was just circle around the 9s, trying to get as many balls in there as possible, but just by 2 points. I think we did a great job, but just fell short by 2 points. By 1 goal, it was tragic.
In episode 8, you were on the Ghostface Schools team for the Checkers Challenge. That team faced some tough communication barriers and took some major penalties, which ended up costing you all the challenge. What happened?
I can personally apologize for that. I told Jack to move somewhere when it was either Logan or Kelvin. It was Kelvin that had already moved up, so that was completely my fault. I mean, I ended up getting off after that anyway, so yeah, my apologies.
In episode 8, tell us about the Steal of the Wing Challenge.
That was probably my favorite challenge out of all Survivor. I wish we had like all 38 people doing that. That was an amazing challenge, honestly. Me and Kelvin had a tie, and then they never like checked the footage, and they just didn't.
In episode 8, you and Connor were paired up in the Elevated Souls Challenge with the yoga blocks, and then won immunity during the Corridor Maze Challenge. How did that feel?
That was amazing. Shout out Hope. All her barriers she placed gave me literally a perfect path. Like no one else could block me in. She just gave me the perfect path, so appreciate you.
How come you decided to gift your winning immunity necklace to Blaine at that tribal council?
That was a really bad mistake. I just did it because I was like, Blaine's my friend, I'll help him out. I thought he was going to get voted out, and I wanted him around. So I thought he was good competition. But I guess no one else liked that as much as I did, so they voted me off next for that.
In the next geometric duplication challenge, Connor was your partner again. How come you two couldn't pull out a repeat victory?
Honestly, I couldn't remember it for anything. I kept looking at it, kept going back. I had the pieces in my hand, trying to make the puzzle in my hand. Nothing. That was not.
Were you aware that you were on the chopping block at tribal council at that point?
Yeah, Holly came up to me, and she literally completely lied. She was like, Cade is trying to get you out. And I talked to Cade after. Cade was not trying to get you out.
Now that you're the third member of this season's jury, what are you looking for in the winner? And what will you be basing your decision on come final night as you vote for someone to win?
Probably performance in the game, performance socially with people, how they act, definitely why they want to win.
What did you learn about yourself by participating in Survivor Bloomsburg Season 3?
I can really make friends with anyone, honestly. I met pretty much everyone there. I never had any beef or drama, so I learned that I can be social.
What do you feel makes the Survivor Bloomsburg experience so unique and fun to do or even watch as a spectator?
I've never seen anything else like this at a college before, so I knew that's one of the other reasons I had to join. Just because it's something so unique, it spans out like the whole semester. You actually get money for it too. Yeah, I really like it.
Is there anyone you would like to thank who is supporting you in this campus competition? Friends or family? Any shout-outs?
I wouldn't say I have any supporters outside of the game, but a lot of people recommend me. I gotta stay in the division.
If you could tell other students why they should consider applying for next year's Survivor Bloomsburg Season 4, what would you tell them?
You'll meet at least like 10 good friends. That's what I meant. You'll get free money and free food every week.
Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be pretty biased on the jury, honestly. Can't say how or why, but my final thought.